Hello and welcome to this video tutorial. Today we're looking at building up data sets in Microsoft Excel using ChatGPT. The situation is if you're trying to practice your Excel skills or you've got students or whatever, you need data to work on, and sometimes it can be tricky to build up data sets that have all the things that you need in them. And I've written books about this in the past, providing teachers with data sets that they can use. These days, it's ChatGPT. So we're having a look at some data here that all came from ChatGPT. I asked it for gadget names. I asked it for prices, numbers in stock, minimum stock and minimum order quantity. So then we could go and start processing this data in various ways using Microsoft Excel. So this video is all about how you get data sets like this out of ChatGPT. So let's swing across now to ChatGPT. This is my prompt for this data set. I asked it to give me a list of 20 kitchen electrical gadgets that would be priced between $20 and $50 each. Now, that was actually my first prompt just to see what I would get. Would I get anything that was usable? And I obviously didn't want to be using proprietary brand names or anything like that. And so the first thing I did was I got a list of gadgets and I looked at those and said, yep, okay, I can work with those. Then I know that I want my data in a table because it's going to be so much easier to manage in Excel. So I always say, place these in a table. And I'm telling it what I want. I want one column for the gadget name. I want one for its hypothetical price between $20 and $50, and I wanted it to be divisible by 5. I had some problems previously, and so that's where I came up with this sort of description to get a sort of nice, even price for my products. I wanted one column for the hypothetical number in stock. I wanted it to be a random number between 15 and 50. Then I wanted one for the hypothetical minimum number of stock allowed, and it must be a random number divisible by 5, and that's what I got. Now, further down the track, I would probably want to have some numbers in stock being less than the minimum stock so that we actually had to do some ordering, but I'm happy to do that manually because it's a fairly small sort of thing to do. And then I wanted one for the hypothetical minimum order quantity, and I wanted it to be 2, 5, or 10 because that's the sort of quantities that you would probably be ordering these things in. I just wanted it to be logical. Now, this data can just be picked up, just select over it and copied and pasted into Excel. And that's exactly what I did to get this worksheet. So here is the data in Excel. I did have to adjust the column widths. I did have to adjust the row heights. And if I wanted it formatted differently to this, I would need to clean up the formatting. But basically something that would typically take me quite a while to create was easy enough to create from data that was just sourced from ChatGPT. There are, of course, lots of other sorts of data that we could source using ChatGPT. So let's have a look at some of those now. So what if we wanted to get things such as population data? So, for example, I want to get the population of the states of Australia. So let's see how we would do that. And here is the prompt. I'm asking ChatGPT to list the states and territories of Australia by population in a table, making sure I'm going to get that table data so I don't have to do anything with the data when it gets to Excel. I want states and territories in one column and populations in the second column. And here is the data ready to be picked up and put into Microsoft Excel. Now, I'm not checking this data. It might not be 100% correct. All I'm looking at is something that I could get my students to use to do some analysis in Excel. So the fact that it is not necessarily 100% correct is not worrying me. If you were using this data for something where being accurate and correct was important, then you would need to check this. So let's now have a look at how I developed another one of my searches. So in this one, I wanted a list of fake people's names, their hypothetical annual income range 30,000 to 100,000, the type of industry they work in, and I wanted ChatGPT to come up with 5 types of industries only so that there would be some repeats. Now, as this started to play out, I realized, of course, that I hadn't asked for a table. And so there's always the option to stop it. And I stopped it in the middle of its work because I want this data in a table. I don't want to have to extract it myself. So I just repeated the same search. I just copied and pasted it, but I said place data in a table. And so it started to come through in a table. and there's 50 here. I also realized that at that point I probably was asking for too many and that I would want less. The other thing that concerned me was that healthcare was here and then it was here and then it was here. So these were sort of being repetitive in the sense that they had 5 general industries, but it was repeating the 5 industries over and over again in the column. I wanted something a little bit more random than that. So then I took my search down to 25 fake people's names. Basically, the search is identical. I just changed things like the number of names. And here, the type of industry they work in, I said randomly select from finance, healthcare, hospitality, retail, and technology. So I gave ChatGPT back the 5 areas that it had already provided me with. I thought they were pretty good, but this time I wanted it to be random. And again, place the data in a table. And just as ChatGPT was giving me this next list of 25 people's names, I saw that we've still got this same problem, is that retail's here, then it's followed by finance, then healthcare, then technology. So I just clicked the stop button again. I said, whoa, the data in the industry column isn't random enough. Please make the industry choice more random. So I didn't have to repeat my ChatGPT request. All I had to do was say, whoa, stop, industry's not random enough. And so then I get apologize for my mistake, and this time I get a more random list. And so I have the data that I can now pick up and take to Microsoft Excel. So whenever you're looking to produce particularly large data sets where you want your students or you to have a variety of numbers and things to play with, ChatGPT is a really good way of getting this data, either getting population data or GDP data or whatever you want in terms of your country or your state or global or whatever, but also in terms of getting fake data. So just ask it for fake names, ask it for fake products. If you're not sure you're going to get what you want, you could just feed the fake part first of all. So for example, if I wanted to look at, say, household furniture, and I want to be able to do something that with that in terms of cost, prices, manufacturing costs, that sort of thing, the first thing that I might do is to actually get it to list household furniture. So you might sort of fish for your data first of all. Am I in the sort of ballpark that I want to be in? Is this the sort of data that I want? And if we're not getting in a table and we think we could actually use it right now, I would click stop generating and ask it to put it in a table. And then it's going to put them in a table. The beauty of this table format, again, you can just pick it up and take it to Microsoft Excel. And so if you see that you're getting the sort of data that you want and that the first couple of columns are looking all right, then just grab your prompt again and add in the extra columns that you want. So I think if you're a teacher and you're looking for data that your students can sort, they can extract, they can find the top 10 pricey items, they could calculate sale price, whatever, then ChatGPT is going to get you really good data very, very quickly without you having to sit there and think of it yourself. If you like carefully researched content like this, clearly presented in a step-by-step format so that you can get great results every time, then you'll love my other YouTube videos. So give this video a thumbs up and click to subscribe to the channel. And on the screen now, you'll see a video that I've handpicked for you to watch next.